Welcome back. Now, the Supreme Court has resumed its marathon hearing today on the suo motu case related to the Arjikar rape and murder. During the proceedings, the top court made some scathing observations here and lambasted the state government over the 14-hour delay in the filing of an FIR. Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud also questioned the challan that was given to the post-mortem report. The apex court has ordered the removal of all the pictures of the victim from social media platforms. The prosecution has also made some scathing claims regarding the investigation in the case. The prosecution has claimed lapses in the post-mortem and has even questioned that the samples were taken for investigation. It has added that the post-mortem was not done as per protocol and even the bathroom and the crime scenes were altered. Meanwhile, the West Bengal government has claimed that 23 people have died due to the doctors not working in hospitals and being on strike. In response, the CJ has directed doctors to resume work by 5 p.m. tomorrow, failing which state governments are free to take disciplinary action.
We have seen now the further line of investigation which is open. We do not want to comment in it in the open court, obviously, so that the course of the investigation should not be affected. We will give you a week's time. Tell us by next Monday what further leads have emerged during the course of the further investigation. We'd like a status report to be submitted to us by next Monday. Let the CBI proceed on the basis of what they are now exploring, the leads which they are pursuing. And we'll keep it now on next Monday.
This is serious, and the CBI has taken a decision to send the samples to AIMS and other Central Forensic Science Laboratory. The person enters, the body parts are not covered, the lead girl is made nude, there are injury marks, and this is the result of FSL. Therefore, who took the samples becomes relevant.
All right, so let's have a quick debate on this. I'm being joined by Rohit Rai, spokesperson of the BJP, PK Jain, former additional DGP of Maharashtra, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairperson of Nephron, and also I'm being expected to be joined by Asif Ansari, who's a political analyst and understands the Trinamool Congress. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, I'll begin with you first on this debate, and I'm just going to quote a statement made by Advocate Kapil Sibal, who's representing the West Bengal government in this hearing. He says, 23 people have died because they do not work. The healthcare system can collapse. 6 lakh individuals have been denied treatments. Resident doctors are not attending OPDs. There has been no angiography done for over 1,500 patients. Doctors were asked to go back to work, yet they have not done so, following which the CJI has said that if they do not report to work by tomorrow 5 p.m., the state government can take disciplinary action. Do you feel that there is a chance that perhaps by not going to work for so long, the doctors who have been striking for over a month now, and if these figures are to be taken at face value, there is a danger of the protesting doctors losing the goodwill of the larger patient community which they have gotten so far over the brutal rape and murder of one of their own kin?
Good afternoon, everyone. So my take on your question is as follows. I think this is one of the most barbaric crimes. There's no question about it. There have been massive, colossal, serial lapses and cracks as far as the administration and the conduct of the post-mortem and other delays in the investigation before the CBI came in. That's a given. With regards to the doctors, I think most of the state's doctors, residents, and the senior doctors have resumed work. This incident has happened in the first week of last month. It's been about 5 weeks since. I think we have made our point collectively as a medical fraternity. The Supreme Court has stepped in. The Supreme Court is monitoring the investigation. They are getting a status report as required from the CBI. The West Bengal government and the local administration is being thoroughly grilled. There is a national task force formed, perhaps of the best intellect minds, to formulate guidelines so that we can have some sort of action plan implemented on the ground. This is what we want. We want protection of doctors. But I think the junior doctors who are still on strike, my request to them is, our karma, our duty, our dharam is to work for the patients and to save lives. It is time now, whoever is protesting, get back to work. Let's show what the medical fraternity is all about. We will continue our demand for a National Protection Act that can run parallelly, but not working is not good.
Dr. Bagai, let me If I've gotten you correct, Dr. Bagai, you're making a very important statement as a senior leader and a torchbearer of the medical fraternity. You are saying that the point has been made and doctors should now come back to strike. Everything that could be done in the last few days has been done in terms of ensuring justice for the victim as well as ensuring that this is never repeated again.
Yes, absolutely. I think we've made our point. We will continue to highlight the doctor's protection aspect, but our work, our fabric, our soul is to save human lives, is to work in the interests of the patients. Prolonging the strike any further is only going to harm the patient care. That's what we do not want. So the doctors should go back to work.
All right, that's a very important statement. We'll try speaking to some of those doctors who have been protesting here. My colleague Shreya has been reporting and getting them live as well. But while we wait for that, let me quickly also go across to PK Jain, former additional DGP of Maharashtra. Mr. Jain, thank you for being on the show. Now, there are two aspects of the investigation which today were highlighted in the Supreme Court. One is, of course, the inordinate delay, 14 hours in terms of filing an FIR. We know as well that one of the key criticisms against the now arrested former principal of Ajikar is that he refused to file a police complaint, which is why it was initially registered as an unnatural death, and only after the father filed a complaint at around 11 o'clock was it filed as a rape and murder case. But the other very important aspect is that of the missing challan. Now, the CJI has remarked that without a challan, according to procedure, a post-mortem body can never be accepted here. Here, how was the post-mortem done without the challan? If it was done with that challan, where has the report gone missing? And it's not with the CBI. So can you explain it to our viewers here, what exactly is the role of this challan during a post-mortem and what does its absence signify?
Good afternoon, Ritangshu. First of all, I would like to compliment Dr. Bagai. He has left nothing for me to speak as far as the returning of the doctors on duty is concerned. Secondly, investigation part, see, there is something called an inquest panchanama. Whenever a dead body is found, an inquest panchanama is conducted. If it is a little serious, then we call the executive magistrates, basically to find out what are the injuries to the body, in what condition the body was. So it is an entire description of the injury marks on the victim's body, which goes along with the panchanama request to the hospital. But in this case, there are 2-3 unfortunate facts. One is that unnatural death was registered quite late in the day. A case was registered only after the complaint was received from the father of the victim. Now, if the doctor does not know whether it is a case of unnatural death or it is a case of murder, then who else will know? So, right, the cover-up appears to be there right from the beginning. And now we know whatever investigation has been conducted by the CBI, that the principal of the RJK hospital himself was the main accused in this case. So unfortunately, the cover-up began right from the stage of reporting, right from the stage of drawing the panchanama, right from the stage of doing the postmortem and taking samples of whichever part of the body had to be taken. So if the panchanama is not there, the postmortem conducting doctor cannot even conduct a postmortem. They insist that the inquest panchanama must accompany along with the police report. So it is unfortunate in this case. If this procedure has not been followed, it's a grave lapse on the part of, and a grave mix-up somewhere higher up in the line is concerned. And I think that even after everything was known to the state government, if the state government did not move, so the heads in the home department as well as the health department must roll. The buck does not stop with Dr. Kar. It goes much beyond that. And somewhere the accountability of the officers, of the senior police officers, as well as home department and the health department is also very, very much there. Ritangshu.
Mr. PK Jain, so my burning question on the basis of what you said, it's obvious that there have been lapses on the first few hours here. Does that permanently compromise the investigation no matter what agency takes over after a few days? The clearest parallel that comes to my mind is what happened in the Arushi Talwar double murder case, where there were initial lapses by the local police, and the reports say that after the CBI took over, they were dealing with very cold leads and it became impossible to ever establish a watertight case. As a senior member of the police force, do you fear the same happening in this case as well?
Well, I have no information on the exact evidence collected by the CBI as of now. They may have revealed something to the court, but it is not in the public domain. So I would not know as to what kind of evidence do they have. But a delay and a cover of this kind
Okay.
does take away, it does damage and does destroy the initial evidence available at the crime scene as well as from the dead body. If that has happened, then the CBI may be at a slight disadvantage, and the accused will certainly take benefit of those lapses in the investigation or the missing links in the court whenever the case comes of a hearing. That is bound to happen. Because if the cover-up was there at the highest level in the hospital itself, then there are certain things which the CBI also will not be able to. They will only be able to get the circumstantial evidence, but not the exact direct evidence, which would be crucial to the prosecution of any case. So I think in this case also, if those links are
All
missing,
right.
unfortunately, the defense will take benefit of that in the court.
All right. Stay on with us, Mr. PK Jain, Sanjeev Bagai, Rohira. I'll come to you as well, because while the lapses continue to be brought to light at this point, the politics is continuing as well. We've got a latest statement coming in from West Bengal Chief Minister, who's been crying foul. Now, after receiving yet another rap from the Supreme Court over the RG horror case, Mamata Banerjee has blamed the left and the centre, which is of course the BJP. Mamata Banerjee says there is a conspiracy involved to defame West Bengal. And she even said that the police commissioner of Kolkata police wants to quit. He came to her with his resignation and was not allowed to resign at this point. Let me quickly go across to Rohit Rai for a response before I go also to Shreya Mondal at this point. Rohit Rai, the first response I'd like to get from the BJP, Mamata Banerjee saying that there is a conspiracy to defame the Bengal government, the Bengal police, and the Bengal state as well. And the commissioner has even offered to resign. If he resigns, will that placate the BJP?
See, firstly, Mamata Banerjee believes in the principle that when you cannot convince, then confuse. And therefore, she is used to pass a statement. Sometimes she will pass regional statements. And since the state is facing a general no confidence from the public, they are not trying to, make one section of the public fight against the other. She's talking about defamation. Let me tell you that the state government
Okay.
mentioned about 23 unfortunate deaths that happened in the state of West Bengal due to not getting treatment. One such case has been highlighted by the TMC itself. And the TMC is highlighting that a very unfortunate death of a young guy took place due to an accident that took place in Konnagar area of West Bengal. Now, what happened with this person is this person was referred from Konnagar to Arjikor, referred, mind you, and that is at a distance of 100 kilometers. And finally, the person died. You think for a mere case of accident, a person has to be referred to a place 100 kilometers away, and a submission has been made by the doctors on this regard that only 2% of the workforce are protesting at this point of time. 98% are still in the hospital. Today, TMC is blaming, and it's so sad that TMC, instead of being the facilitator to make the doctors come into the workplace, they are acting as a defiant opposition to the doctors, and then they're claiming that surgery is not happening. Are the PGD, the junior doctors, responsible for surgery? No, it is for the senior doctors to do. So you are trying to confuse the people with this random data, random allegations, instead of helping those people. And this was not for the first time that the government of West Bengal is going against the workforce. Earlier, even the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself compared the protesting DA employees with barking dogs. So these mentalities continuing for a very long time. A divide and rule policy has been taken by TMC just to stop the protest. That's it. And moreover, I would also like to mention here that even the Supreme Court clearly mentioned that there are so many lapses in the investigation. Who is responsible for this? The CP himself. And if the CP is responsible and Mamata Banerjee does not accept his resignation, then who in turn become responsible for this? Of
Yeah,
course,
because
Mamata
she has
Banerjee.
those
If today
junior
the health
doctors
department
protesting at this point. Asif Ansari, political analyst, quickly joining me at this point, Rohira. Just a second. Mr. Ansari, the Chief Minister is saying there's a conspiracy to defame West Bengal government and the West Bengal police, and even the police commissioners offered to put in his papers. My question is, are even members of the parliament representing the Trinamool Congress, whether it be Jawahar Sarkar, whether it be Sukhendra Sekhar Roy, are they also part of this conspiracy to defame the West Bengal government? Because even they have spoken out against the party's handling of this matter.
Well, sir, yesterday we just come to know about the Mr. Sarkar that he has put his paper down to the Mamata Banerjee, and he wrote about the berserks he has having into the party, the internal internal matter, he is unhappy with the party leaderships. The point is that it is a time that we always say the civil warrior or the military warrior is a time to defend the line. As the Mr. Sarkar has left the party, it was a time of a crisis where Mr. Sarkar should stay in the party and took some corrective measures and give more advice to the party. And it could be because he was always been in the public affair, he could be the good part of the TMC, but leaving the TMC will definitely dent the party at the intellectual level. So I think that Mr. Sarkar should be the very good asset for the party, but as he has left, so it is all his discretion to stay back from the party and whatever they're going on right now.
So if two MPs have come out and publicly criticized the Mamata Banerjee's government, it is their own discretion. But if the opposition does it, it is a conspiracy. Rohira, I'll come to you, but I need to go across to Shreya Mondal because I need to go back to what Dr. Bagai was saying at the beginning. Shreya, you have been covering this doctors' protest from day one. We just heard some of those voices coming in from those doctors who are protesting, saying that they are very unhappy with the Supreme Court's decision and order to them to report to work by tomorrow 5 p.m. We just heard a very senior member of the fraternity, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, saying that their point has been made for more than a month of protests. The Supreme Court has taken cognizance. It's monitoring the investigation. The best minds of the country are working on the task force to try and ensure a crime never happens. The case is being monitored by the CBI. There literally is nothing more to be done here, and the doctors should return to work. Can you put that point of view across to those doctors with you and ask them if they're still in disagreement?
Well, of course, we're reporting live from Ajikor. We have seen how the doctors were monitoring the Supreme Court verdict. Now, after the order that has come from the Supreme Court, they were heartbroken and they have left the place. They're not with me right now. But we have been communicating with the doctors. Now, what the doctors told us is that what the Supreme Court verdict have said is really shocking. They're saying that why was it being discussed today that whether or not the doctors should join war or they should continue with the cease work. They say, what about the initial case? What about the rape and murder case? About which we are protesting, about which we are seeking justice. One of the doctors very hopelessly told us, what about justice? And they say that whether or not they will continue the cease work, that will depend on the call made by the Junior Forum of Doctors. They say that our body will sit and we will have a meeting and then we will discuss whether or not to continue with the cease work. When it was asked that if they do not resume work, in that case disciplinary action will be taken, they say let it be, but where is justice? We are still fighting for justice. We are still protesting for justice. So, of course, a very heartbreaking reply coming from the doctors at Ajikor. They have been monitoring the SC verdict, and at this point in time, they're questioning where is justice? What about the initial probe, the rape and murder case?
All right, but again, the question is what constitutes justice? Can it be immediately delivered? And is justice delayed, really justice denied? Thanks a lot, Shreya, for joining us. Also, thank you at this point, of course, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai and PK Jain. Always a pleasure to have you on the panel. Also, thank you, Rohira, spokesperson of the BJP, and also Asif Ansari, political analyst. With that, it's time for a short break. More news and updates continue on the other side with my colleague Aisha. Stay tuned to Mirror Now.